So we're back trackside just to look at some scenery. But of course you have to have some stars in your scenery, and they'll be passing through as well. Okay, now you've seen some trains go through, but what the scene is all about is that it's advice for setting up your layout from the very beginning. We don't always have a lot of coin, and you have to do things in an order usually, but you also want to take advantage of situations where you can to eliminate problems later on. What I advocate is counterintuitive, but the very first thing you do is put some grass foliage on the front of your layout between the edge of your board and the first round of tracks. Sure, it adds a little bit of green there, and it's the first thing that people see when they see your layout. They go, ooh, it gives it that little kick. But what it's all about is that when you're setting up a layout, it takes time to put it together. And what you want to avoid is your layout becoming a catch-all for every piece of junk and garbage that somebody brings into that room, so that they're not trying to store things on your layout. You want to build your train layout so that it advances, not have to reassemble it every time. If you put scenery, people aren't going to put stuff on top of it. You won't put yourself a can of nails on a patch of grass. Your wife's not going to put her laundry hamper on a scene like this where it would be breaking lamp poles. or telephone poles. In this scene, I added a little bit more of a cushion where there's kind of an escarpment that comes down, and then it's along the edges. I've used inflatable Styrotex, and then I've got a board, and it has more grass, a river scene underneath. But it's all about this barrier. It's a mental barrier so that your train layout stays better longer. Another thing that I advocate is painting the sides of your rails with a rust color. It doesn't cost a lot to paint them rust, but it makes them more believable. You've never seen a railway with the sides of the rails unrusted. You never will. And I've done a form of compression on the closer set of rails. It's a coarse grade of gravel. On the track further behind, it's a medium grade of gravel. It forms a compression in the mind. It makes it look further apart than it actually is. Subtle tricks to make it all work. And finally, a backdrop. A backdrop just gives your layout a good kick in the can. It suddenly comes alive. It fulfills the idea of your train layout. Sometimes happenstance comes together in ways you wouldn't expect. This little control tower, I made a floor with some clear plastic. I laid a layer of toothpicks across it, and then I put in some control arms that you can see through the windows. But it's actually mounted on top of a switch, an electric switch that has illumination and kind of has a pleasant glow coming in from underneath. I'd originally set this up with an LED light on the inside using batteries, but this is much more effective. Worked out unplanned for. That's it for today. If you liked the video, you'd like to see more, please press the like flag and give me a subscription, and I'll keep making more videos. Thank you. Have a good one.